Hello and welcome to another Teacher's Corner. Don't forget, if you like what you see in this video, to click that like, subscribe, and even that join button if you're willing to support Teacher's Corner in that way. Also consider becoming a patron on my Patreon page. The link for that should be popping up in the top right hand corner of this video right about now. And also, if you are considering joining a meal kit delivery service, I highly recommend HelloFresh. My husband and I have been using that one, and there is a link in the description of this video to get you $40 off your first box. So if that is something you are considering doing, please take advantage of that. Alright, without any further ado, this episode we're going to be talking about Subspace Vortex. So, Subspace Vortex, that was not the button I wanted to push. Subspace Vortex is a space skill. You can see it here. It can be either ensign, lieutenant, or lieutenant commander. So there are 1, 2, and 3. Subspace 1, Subspace Vortex 1, Subspace Vortex 2, or Subspace Vortex 3. So if you look on the exchange, Subspace Vortex 3, which is the most expensive of the pack, is only 3 million. Now you may balk at me and go, only 3 million? Well, I say only 3 million because that's actually pretty easy to get if you do marauding, which I have a video that shows how to do that. If you do marauding on just a few Klingon tunes and turn over contraband on every tune on your account, even if you have just a handful of tunes, it won't take very long to earn yourself 125 Zen, which you can then turn over. You can then go on the Zen store to buy a key with that. Now you haven't spent any cash, just a little bit of time, and you've earned some Zen. You've bought a key. You can sell that key if you actually look on the exchange. Let me get rid of that. If you look under locked box keys, you can actually sell a key for 4,400,000. So if you were to get a single lockbox key, you would be able to buy this skill and still have over 1 million EC left. So that is why I say it doesn't cost very much. But we digress. Okay, so 3 million EC for Subspace Vortex 3, which is the Lieutenant Commander version. And that is what everything that I discuss, all the numbers that are going to come out of this are going to come from that version on my character. Alright, so this is a space skill. So to see, cannot talk today, oh my goodness. To see the space skills properly, we need to go into system space. So I'm up here above above our space dock, ESD, and let's close that. And so we're going to take a look at Subspace Vortex. So first of all, as I said, this comes out of a lockbox. You can buy it on the exchange for 3 million, or you can get it out of the Infinity lockbox. It is a science skill, so if you are lucky enough to get it, that's great. So Subspace Vortex 3 goes in the Lieutenant Commander slot. It targets your foe, has a 10-kilometer range, and has a 3.6 second recharge. Yeah, not quite. Okay, and creates a Subspace Vortex for 20 seconds, which causes 3,964.1 kinetic damage per second, which it lasts for 20 seconds. And this damage does ignore shields, and it has a range of 3 kilometers. after the 20 seconds expire, you can, or during that 20-second time period, during that 20-second time period, if you activate Subspace Vortex again, you will teleport to the vortex's location facing your current direction. The downside to this is doing that instantly closes the vortex, which you do not want to do, especially if you have a whole heck of a lot of science ability. Okay, so that's the pretty dry stuff. Now, let's really get into discussing it. So, as you can see, there are a few things that affect this if I look at it down here. So, these are affected, or Subspace Vortex is affected by exotic particle generators. So if you are doing a science build, a space wizard build where you want to do a lot of EPG, boy, my build needs to be updated, where you want to do a lot of EPG, a lot of things like a lot of things that are going to die from that. That growling you hear in the background is my dogs. Lursa and Bator are apparently having a little tiff. Okay, so it is also affected by these science consoles from the research lab. So if you have the exotic particle focusers or the restorative particle focusers, then they will affect it and they will give a bonus to it. Alright. And of course there's a couple other things that I have using it. But bottom line, Subspace, it is a vortex similar to Gravity Well. However, the biggest difference is that it does not pull targets to it. Okay? A Gravity Well will pull targets to it and keep it there. The Subspace Vortex just sits in one spot, unless of course you have the temporal ability that allows them to chase. But it pretty much sits in one spot and it does not pull anything. So, in my opinion, and in the opinions of most people that I know, the Subspace Vortex is really good, but it does need a Gravity Well in order to hold your opponents there so that they get the full brunt of the damage. So, now that's an important thing to know, is that it doesn't pull. So, under any circumstance, so you need to have some way to keep your enemies in the spot where you spawn that Subspace Vortex. So what I like to do is I spawn my Gravity Well, then I'll spawn my Vortex, so that they get the full brunt of the Vortex as well as the Gravity Well, and things usually die pretty quickly that way. So, again, something to keep in mind. So, and as you can see, this is completely affected by EPG, or exotic particle generators, and I'll prove it. So right now it says it's doing 3,964.1 kinetic damage. If I take off this, which has plus 75 Starship exotic particle generator, I take this off, put it in my inventory, and now it says 3,727.4. So that is your proof there. It is affected by EPG. Okay. So again, somebody gave us a nice little damage boost. Okay. So basically, again, the TLDR, Subspace Vortex, creates a nice little vortex in space, does a bunch of damage, and I do mean a bunch, but does not pull targets to it. So it's a good idea to pair it with Gravity Well, and it is affected by EPG, so it works really good on Space Wizard builds. Alright, so again, that is Teacher's Corner. I hope you learned something, and I will see you next time.